been more than a year. I do realize that all the knitting in my previous videos don't really matter anymore. And I still choose to continue. So if you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't, hello, my name is Veronica, and this is All Yarns Considered. It's all about knitting. If you're not into it, you gotta learn. Alright, so I guess a little bit of an update why I haven't been here for so long. I had a baby. Yay! If you really look, if you really care, no one cares, but if you really do, in my previous videos you can kind of tell because I'm so congested. I sound like I have a cold. I didn't have a cold. I was so congested from pregnancy that I sound sick. Anyway, long story short, I had my son, Elliot. He is over a year now and finally sleeping in a way where it gives me a little bit of time to do this. And I realized that I won't do it unless I just carve some time for it. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be pretty, but I do want to continue. So this is me, not perfect, talking about some of the knitting that I'm doing. I realize that summer might not be the best time to revive a knitting podcast video, but I mean, watch me, don't watch me, you do you. So here I am. I have to say that I haven't been posting, but I did do a lot of knitting. Sleepless nights, times where I didn't have anything else to do but knit. If I got stuck with my baby sleeping on me, my hands were free, so then I did a lot of knitting. And as I was sitting down to make this video, I realized that I've packed most of my knitting, my finished objects for the season. So I guess the good news that I'll be able to show you more when the winter comes, and bad news that I have less to show you this time. But no worries, my intention is to make this video quite short because no one has the time for long videos. I don't have the time to make them, you don't have the time to watch them. So, anywho, I will start with 2 finished objects that I had on hand and I've finished them recently. And then I have 2 whips. And I can talk a little bit more about the project that I made, but I feel like it makes a little bit more sense if I talk about them once you can see them. I've said that many times before. I have the patterns from Petite knit. I really like them, so I'm just continuing with that. Again, if you don't like that, then you know, you're out of luck. But if you do, this is yet another champagne cardigan by her. This is, I think it's like the most classical, okay, ignore this part. But this is the most classical fit that I've made of her. I made this cardigan multiple times in different variations, but I feel like this is the most classical one. I have one in green. If you looked at my previous videos, you can see them there. See that version there. But this is very classical, and I have to say, I get the most compliments when I wear them. Like, my mother-in-law wants one because she sees me wearing it very often, so finally she's like, okay, make me one. So I'm gonna work on yet another champagne cardigan in probably the same coloring. But I really like it, and it's light and it's nice. I mean, we're in June here. Luckily I live in Canada, where June days could still allow for some knitwear. So I'm wearing it today. It's a little bit hot though, I'm not gonna lie. Plus I'm drinking tea, so oof, a little bit. But the only thing that I probably would make different next time, I didn't really follow the pattern when I made all the buttonholes, so I made a lot of them. I guess I like making buttonholes, I don't know why. And then I had to put 6 buttons on it, which kind of feels a little bit crowded. 4 might have been a lot better, but anyway, that's the look of it, I guess. So yeah, there's not much to tell. It's peeling a little bit because I haven't washed it. Aside from blocking, I haven't washed it yet once more, so it still has like a little bit of fluff to come out until it will settle all together. So this is it. You know about it. If you want to like knit a version of that, I really like it. As I said, I've knitted a lot of this, and the only thing that I would ever add to this cardigan would be pockets. And if she ever makes a pattern, this the exact same pattern with pockets, I think it will be golden. I don't know, let me know what you think. But yeah, no, I really like it.
My next finished object is again from Petite Knit, and this is, let me check, what pattern is this, actually?
This is the Agnete cardigan. It has a fisherman stitch or brioche stitch, if you will. It's my first cardigan that I've made in this pattern. Yeah, because I've made other things in this type of pattern, but this is a garment that I made. I really like it. Like, I've seen it in different items, like clothing items, like from the stores, and I really like that pattern. I find it's heavy and it has that like kind of sturdiness to it. So I made it with kind of like a jumbled yarn from my stash. I got this pink, which is quite cool. Like, I really like it. I had it in 3 strands, and then I paired it with a wool, like kind of a lighter pink, like a very pale pink. And this is, I got kind of like a melange version. I really like it. I put, see, like this has 5 buttons, and even that, it looks a lot better than the previous one. And I just opted for like wood color buttons. I really like it, and it has that feel of kind of like a bomber jacket, if you will. This is way too hot for the temperature outside right now, so I'm gonna take it off. Ooh, hot. But I have to say, it took me so long to knit this because you're essentially knitting double in a fisherman stitch, because you're kind of skipping one stitch, knitting one kind of thing. But I really like it. I will definitely do it again. I think Petite Knit has a sweater called September sweater that it's also made in fisherman stitch, and I think I'm gonna knit an oversized version of that. So I'm probably gonna knit a medium or a large version of that sweater. But I really like it. Check this out. I will post some of the pictures that I've made of mistakes while knitting this because it took me so long to finish this cardigan. And I was very confused in the arms. The arms, how to decrease and increase. I guess decreasing. So the final version looks pretty good. Like these are my decreases, and I think I've done a good job. Boy, that took me a long time. And I would have made them probably, like I would have less decreases because after blocking, this jacket has shrunk a bit more, and I find them slightly tighter at the end here. Hopefully with some wear they're gonna loosen up, but I'm not quite sure. So these are my finished objects. Yeah, these are the only ones that I have on hand, so sorry about that, but I'm quite proud of them. They're cardigans, and they're like probably one of the longest type of projects you can have, unless you're like doing literally like a massive blanket or a dress or something, which I'm gonna get into. But I'm gonna talk a little bit more about my whips as well. So this is a whip that I'm working on right now. It is her Marseille sweater, which she has in like stripes. I have that version in stripes, which is cool. I like it. But for some reason, I just wanted something very, well, I had the pattern and I'm frugal and I didn't want to buy another pattern, although in the end I still did. But at that time, I didn't want to buy another pattern, so I bought it. I made this for like this sweater, but without any stripes, in a melange kind of version. And I've done the same thing that I've done in the previous cardigan that I showed you. I just paired this. This is like more of a what are they called, like sponge cotton, something like that, sponge cotton, I don't know. Again, for my birthday, my aunt sent me a huge package. Well, guess what? A yarn. So she got me such pretty colors. Incredible. Like this is like the green that she got me. The only drawback is that they're so thin. This is like the 2 strands one. So I have to like wind them a lot, and my winder's so loud, and I have such limited time when I can wind until Elliot comes and like starts pulling on all the yarn. So anyway, it takes me like long to just like wind my, you know, my balls of yarn to even do this project. So anyway, it's paired this, and then I have a strand of white wool, basically. Anyway, the reason why I was making this is because I bought the melange sweater for a baby, and I made Elliot this version, and I really liked. I like green in general. I think I'm like very partial to green. I have a lot of green clothing. So anyway, I was making this for him, and I really liked it, and I wanted to match him. So anyway, I made his sweater. He wore it the past winter. Fantastic. Everybody loved it. I'm like, cool, I'll make myself one. Start knitting it. I will probably not finish it or wear it until next winter, and by that time he won't be able to fit in his. So either I have to knit another one for him in a larger size, or just accept the fact that I'll never match him. But anyway, I'm on the finish line. I feel like this probably was not the best joint that I was able to do, but I feel like after a while, or after blocking, it might look a little bit better. So hopefully I'll be able to show you this sweater in finished version. I also knitted another version of this sweater in also just one color, and it's really cool. I hope I can show that to you next winter when I unpack all my clothes, because that one is actually one of my favorite sweaters and I'm wearing it all the time. It's an oversized version of the Marseille sweater. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. And one other whip that I had on hand, and I can show you, is the, let me see, Friday Slipover. See the color? Pretty cool, eh? I really like this color. I find it such a bright, I just love it. I love when colors are vibrant. I mean, if we were to compare, see? I mean, this is cool, like, don't get me wrong. But I much prefer a more vibrant color. Anyway, so this is the Friday Slipover by Petite, and I've done this one before, and I must say that I really like knitting this pattern, but I have some beef with the neck. I had the same issue on the previous one that I've made. Basically, I make the neck and I do the exact stitches that she says in the pattern for the neck, and it always comes out wavy like this. So I'm not sure, maybe someone can recommend something for me. I'm thinking that the only thing that I can do is to undo it and make fewer stitches, because it's so wavy and it's not gonna look good. So see what I'm saying? Very wavy, I don't get it. So while this is really cool, and you know, if I keep on doing, I think it's gonna be a really cool sweater. But boy, this is annoying. I'll have to figure this one out. Again, if you have any recommendations for me in the comments, I'd be grateful. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It was the same thing in the other one, and that's why I don't wear it as much, because it just like drives me bonkers. Anyway.
And
the color. Sorry. Okay, this is not gonna happen right now, but anyway. I have to wind a lot, like I have a cone again of these colors, and I have to make a lot of effort to, you know, wind them in cakes. And I have to kind of pair with how much energy I have. Is Elliot around? Can he be seen by someone else? And can I make noise? A lot of time, it's not happening. So, anywho, this is kind of... I have another whip, which I also have an issue with. And hopefully, I don't know. The problem is, I don't think I have a lot of people watching me to give me any advice or anything like that. So, I'll probably have these problems next time anyway, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. So, I've made, you know, I've showed you before, I have this book, it's called 52 Weeks of Socks from Lane magazine, and I've started this sock, and in the book it's so cool, and I made sure that I have the gauge, not the gauge, I don't know if I made sure if the gauge is right, but I mean, this is the strand I have, very tiny strand. These are the little needles I have. very tiny little small. And look at the size of this goddamn sock. I don't get it, and I've tried it before and it's so big, and I don't know if it's because it's before blocking and I should continue to make this. But how do I know when to stop knitting if it's so big? Do I have to like stop, block, and then see and hope it's the measurement that I need? Like, how do people do that? And I'd love to be a sock knitter. I'd love, like, I even like ordered myself some nice short needles because I'd love to have like many knitted socks, and I can't have them. Can't have them because this happens and it drives me bananas and I don't understand. Again, if you have any recommendations, if you're a sock knitter and you understand how these things work, let me know. Do I just keep going? Do I just like... This is the second time that I'm frogging something like this, and I don't want to because it's such a cool looking pattern, like in the book. So nice. Can't do it in real life. I don't understand. So that's that. It's been 22 minutes, so I think that's enough. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna put some pictures of my finished projects because I did make the effort last weekend, and I did put some pictures. I took some pictures of me in these cardigans, and I think they turned out quite cool. And this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to work on some patterns myself. I don't think my knitting hobby is going anywhere anytime soon. So I'd like to try and see what type of pattern maker I would be. So I'm working on some patterns. I'm gonna start with something like very simple and free. I'm gonna start with a shawl or like a scarf. Hopefully works out well. I have a couple of patterns in my head. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, I am curious to know what type of pattern maker I could be. Maybe I'll turn something like, look at this. What type of feet do you have to have? And it does say like, after blocking, it's gonna match the, like this side, it's gonna match this side. But I mean, this side is also big, so I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. Okay, this is it. I'm not sure how much longer my child will sleep, so I'm going to wrap this up. And hopefully I can post more often. I can show you more and connect with you more. Anywho, bye YouTube.